I know a lot of us who travel through the wellness space are very familiar with Bessel van der Kolk's quote that the body keeps the score. I mean, he literally wrote a book about the topic. But for today's episode, I really want to focus on the perspective that your brain keeps the score, because it does keep the score. The question is whether you're letting it keep the right score, because left to its own devices, it will tally everything that you did not do, everything that went wrong, and exactly how far you still have to go. And that tally will make you feel like quitting every single time. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. So there's a very predictable cycle that I see play out for women who are trying to build better habits. They end the day focused on the gap. Everything they meant to do but didn't quite get to, that they still have to do, that they did not do. They basically focus on every place they fell short. And that feeling is so freaking heavy that the only thing that sounds good is to numb it out, right? The couch, the ice cream, the show that they've already seen 300 times. And then the next morning, of course, what happens is they feel worse because they push their bedtime later. And they don't feel super excited to get up because they kind of felt lousy when they went to bed. And it's not because motivation doesn't exist for these women. It's because they aren't tapping into it. They aren't working for that motivation. They've been measuring themselves in a way that is guaranteed to suck their motivation well dry. So you will often hear me say on this show, as a lot of you longtime listeners have heard me say for many years, that motivation rarely comes first, right? Motivation is not something we wait for. It's something we work for. It's a byproduct of engaging with action. It's a byproduct of engaging with our lives. And it also follows evidence. So how do we get evidence? Well, we take action. Then we get evidence that something worked or didn't. And then, of course, that evidence is going to motivate us or not. Specifically, it follows the experience of progress, of seeing that you are actually moving, that something is working, and that you are not the same woman you were last week, even if you can't always feel it or see it. So when you end every single day scanning for what went wrong, I don't really think you're being honest. What's more true is you're being selective. You are handing your brain an incomplete picture and asking it to decide whether any of this is worth continuing. And I know I've shared this before, but I heard a TED Talk once where the speaker was talking about how the negative to the human brain is like Velcro. It's so easy for the negative to stick to us, where the positive experiences kind of slide off of us like Teflon. I think it's a great image. But the reason I'm sharing that with you is because we also tend to focus so much on the negative and what could be better that's all we see. So we are kind of part of the problem there. So enter the victory log. This is a practice I have talked about with my community for years. A victory log is kind of similar, I would say, to a gratitude journal, but with a very different purpose. A gratitude journal is really, right, like being intentional and pointing out what we're grateful for in the day. But a victory log changes what your brain is scanning for. So at the end of each day, I want to challenge anyone listening today, here and now, to write down 3 to 5 things you feel really good about in your day today. 3 to 5 ways that you would just give yourself a little pat on the back, that you feel proud of how you showed up. And I know for a woman who is not in the practice of doing that, that feels awkward. Maybe it even feels, like wrong in some way. But it's not any of those things. It's actually giving your brain different evidence to look for. So what are the things that you would call a win from today? Maybe it's just getting out of bed. right? Maybe it's brushing your hair, taking a shower. It can be really simple things. These are not perfect things. These are 3 very real things. I can't tell you the number of times my community members have come to group coaching calls. And of course, I make everyone share a rise before they share a rumble. And often the rise is, I showed up on the call. That's what they're celebrating today. Okay, great. Awesome. That's something. They could have not shown up to the call. It's simply a moment that you chose maybe to show up or respond rather than react. A choice that served your well-being rather than depleted it. Maybe it's following through on a promise that you made to yourself. I'll warn you, again, this will feel awkward. Expect it to. Because if you've never had a practice of it, what do all new practices feel like? Well, they all feel awkward. You will sit there and you will really struggle some days to come up with 3 to 5 things. And here's another caveat. They can't be the same 3 to 5 things every day, right? That just kind of makes the exercise a moot point if you're just going to keep listing the same 3 things. Like, you need to challenge yourself to really dig for the gold. Dig for the ways that you are proud of yourself for showing up. Because we're training the brain to look in the other direction. We're training the brain to look for the good. And the more you practice, of course, what happens? The better you get at it, the more proficient you become. And it's not just a feel-good idea, right? You are literally rewiring your brain to scan for what's going well. And a brain that is looking for evidence of progress will almost always certainly find it. And again, even in micro ways. And the wins, the victories, they feel good. And we tend to want to do more of what feels good. So what you close your day out with becomes the story that you're going to wake up with tomorrow. So I want you to make sure that the story that you wake up with tomorrow is one that really motivates you to get into your day. And I know in my heart of hearts, a victory log will help you to do that. Maybe not right away, but with enough practice, I'm willing to bet it's going to infuse your life with more life. And that's the whole point. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.